Before I proceed on, I would like to greet you in my traditional way of greeting when I'm married. For your information, slide 1 can introduce myself. One of the slides, the content. This is the content. The first one, introduction and overview of the 3 theories. The 3 theories understanding how students learn helps teachers plan good lesson and keep students engaged. 3 main learning theories: behaviorism, cognitivism, and socio-cultural theory. Explain learning in different ways. Each theory has a different idea about what learning is, how it happens, and how teachers can help. Behaviorism says learning is a change in behavior caused by outside events. This theory was developed by Bauro, Thorndike, and Skinner. Bauro 1927 showed that behavior can be connected to certain things around us, like his experiment where dogs learn to salivate when they heard a bell. Thorndike 1911 explained the law of effect, meaning that behaviors that lead to good results will be repeated. Skinner 1953 talked about operant conditioning, using reward to encourage good behavior and punishment to stop unwanted behavior. In schools, behaviorist teaching uses practice, reward like praise or points, and quick feedback to help students learn. This method is very useful for teaching basic skills like timetables or spelling words. Cognitivism deal with the mind, looks at how the brain works when we learned. It was developed by Piaget and Bruner. Piaget 1970 said that students move through different thinking stages as they grow, and teachers need to match their teaching to those stages. Bruner 1960 said students learn best when they discover ideas for themselves and revisit them often. He called this a spiral curriculum. Connectivism focuses on how students remember, pay attention, and solve problems. Teachers use clear step diagrams and simple instructions to help students understand new ideas. They also encourage students to explain what they are doing to check that they really understand, not just memorize. Sociocultural theory was developed by Vygotsky. He believed learning happens in a social setting with the help of other people. His idea of a zone of proximal development, CBD, explains that there are things students cannot do alone, but can do with help. Teachers and classmates can help through scaffolding, giving support until the students can do it alone. This theory encourages group work, peer tutoring, and teacher questioning to build understanding. It also recognized that students' culture and experience affect how they learn. To sum up, behaviorism looks at behavior changes. Cognitivism looks at thinking and memory. And sociocultural theory looks at learning through social interaction. Good teachers often use all 3 rewards to motivate, clear step to guide thinking, and group work to build deeper understanding. The second one, the learning episode. The learning episode happened at Kaume STA High School in a Form 7 mathematics class taught by teacher Bauro. The topic was solving stimulateness equations using substitution and elimination. The goal was to help students understand how to solve two equations with two unknown numbers in a clear and logical way. The lesson started with a quick review of what students already knew about linear equation and graphing. Teacher Bauro wrote a simple equations on the board and asked students to explain how to make a variable the subject, reminding them of what they learned before. Piaget 1970. Then she introduced a new example with two equations and solved step by step how to use substitution to solve them. She asked questions like, what is the first thing we should do? And why are we substituting this variable? Because key 1978. This made students think, not just watch. Next, students were put into pairs and given practice questions that got harder as they went along. Teacher Bauro walked around the room, helping students ask questions and checking answers. When students got the answer right, she praised them straight away. Skinner 1953. If students were stuck, she explained again or asked another student to help, giving support until they understood. At the end, some presented their solutions to the class. Teacher Bauro explained the two methods again, cleared up common mistakes, and reminded students if the key steps. The class ended with homework to praise more. The third one, analysis of the learning episode. This lesson can be explained by whole three theories, but social-cultural theory explained is best. From a behavioral view, the lesson had praise and feedback, which are examples of reinforcement. Skinner 1953. The repeated practice questions also fit Thorndike 1911. Idea that doing something many times helping learning. This explains why students got better at solving equations, but behaviorism does not explain why students learn to explain their reasoning or work well in groups. It mostly looks at behavior, not understanding. Cognitivism explained more because the teacher helps students think step by step and connect the lesson to what they already knew. Bruner 1960. The demonstration was broken into small steps, which make it easier to follow. The questions asked by a teacher make students think about their thinking. Metacognition. However, cognitivism still seeing learning mostly as an individual process and does not fully explain the value of pair work and discussion. Sociocultural theory is the best explanation because the whole lesson was built on interaction. Teacher Bauro's questions guided students through their CBD, Vygotsky 1978, helping them learn things they could not do alone. Working with peers let students share ideas which help each other and explain their answers. These groups work turn maths into a safe activity, not just something done alone. Daniel 2001 says that talking together helps students understand ideas and remember them. The lesson also fits the culture of the school where teamwork is valued. Wetchet 1991 says that cultural tools like algebra symbols help students think and solve problems. Presenting answers in front of the class made learning so gave students confidence. Working together also made students feel less stressed and more motivated. They were more willing to try solving problems when they had a partner. Teacher developed and encouraged them, which made them feel supported and responsible for their own learning. In conclusion, behaviorism and cognitivism are useful to explain practice and thinking styles, but sociocultural theory gives a full picture. It explains what students learn and how they learn through teacher help, peer discussion, and share activities. Vygotsky, 1978. The last one, evidence from class and readings. Our class readings and lectures said that scaffolding and group work are very important for good teaching. Vygotsky, 1978, said, learning happens fits between people and then inside the mind, which 1991 added that cultural tools like language and symbols help students think. This was seen in teacher Tepewa's lesson, where students use algebraic notation and discussing to learn. In class, we studied examples that showed group work helps students understanding better. My practicum experience showed the same thing. When students had to explain answers to each other, they remembered better and could solve other problems later. The News 2001 says that this kind of talking together helps students build their own understanding. Lectures also said teachers should not overload a student with too much information at once. Instead, they should present lessons step by step. Bruna, 1960. Teacher Bauro did this by showing substitution and elimination clearly. Behaviourist ideas like praise, Skinner, 1953, were also suggested in our lectures are a way to keep students motivated. All this shows that sociocultural theory best explains what happened in the lesson, but behaviorism and cognitivism were also part of the teaching. That's all from me. Thank you.